What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? So in today's video, I wanted to teach you how to properly flick in Modern Warfare 3, how to properly flick on mouse and keyboard, and how to actually get better. So what I'm going to do here is teach you the proper technique, and it's up to you to put the time in to get better. So the number one thing that I will say is you need to play some coeffects or either some aimlabs, right? And I know a lot of people are going to ask, yo, NEWT, why do you play against bots? It's because when I'm trying to teach you something, it's easier for me to teach it against bots and on instead of like actual players. You guys want to see actual gameplay? There's plenty of gameplay on my channel. Practicing these techniques and how to actually get better at them, okay? So the first thing, like I said, you want to go into aimlabs or coeffects, find out your sensitivity, find out what you are best at. Link in the description below. You're going to do the voltaic aim routine, and that will teach you what you have to actually learn. And then you're going to go in and you're going to do the daily voltaic routine, because let's be honest, flicking is just one aspect of Call of Duty that is useful for mouse and keyboard, but you're going to have to actually put the time in and practice. And before I even continue, everybody wants to know what the class setup is. This is what I'm running on the new HRM9, okay? And this is secondary, these are the perks, okay? And then also, before I get asked what sensitivity I play on, don't copy my sensitivity, find your own sensitivity that works for you. If you guys need help with that, there's a Discord that I finally cleaned up. It's getting a lot of bot spam, but if I'm live, like twitch.tv/NEWT, you guys can ask me questions over there. Anything aiming related, I can help you out, okay? So be sure to follow my twitch.tv/NEWT. So when it comes to flicking, what is the technique? Well, you do not want to be in a situation where you have to start shooting a person and then do a 180 flick. That is just not a situation you want to be in. What you want to have is you want to flick with everything in front of you, right? You want to be able to flick flawlessly against everything, all the enemies in front of you, okay? You don't want to do like a 180 flick or something like that, because guess what? That is just not practical, and we're all about practicity, or I guess practical situations on this channel. So you want to practice doing a flick right in front of you or slightly to the side of you, whatever is in your peripheral view, okay? Now, a misconception a lot of people have is that you flick with your wrist of everything that's like in front of you. And that's kind of true, but aim training will tell you something different. You kind of use the whole motion of your arm, not just your wrist, not just your arm, but it's kind of like a whole motion. So what you do is you see a target, okay? You want to acquire where that target's going to be. You want to move and try to use your arm to like move towards that target, and then the micro corrections happen with your wrist, okay? It's going to be all in like one motion. So slow down. There's a guy over here. There's a guy to my right. Slow down. I kind of like flicked right onto him because it was slow, but flick, and then I'm kind of right onto them, guys. It's kind of not a good scenario. Flick. See how I was kind of off of them? I'm kind of off, and then I make the micro readjustment. But it's like all in one motion, right? So when it comes to flicking on multiple targets in front of you, it's using your whole range of motion. You're not just using one like your wrist or your arm. You're using both. So if a target's right in front of you, flick to that target, and you're going to do a micro correction on that target. So I guess it's best shown with this pistol. I could flick on him, I flicked over, micro recorrect, and then boom, right on him. And then that's basically how the flick happens. You want to do this slowly. Flick, it was right on him. You have to have, your brain has to catch up, or you have to get fast enough to where you already know if you're on the target or how much of that micro recorrection you have to do. And pretty much that just comes down to static dots when it comes to playing on aimlabs. Just to know like where your crosshair is and how to actually like flick to them, right? So what's practical on Call of Duty? Because sometimes you got different variables, like right now, you're not always going to know where the center of your screen is. Even if I flick, see right there, that was the micro correction. If you guys want to slow that down, that was the micro correction. But basically what it is, you need to be able to flick, stop, micro readjust, automatically know where your crosshair is, and micro readjust onto that target. And this happens all in one motion, a couple of frames. So there's two different flicks that you can do, okay? There's the standard flick where you flick and then stop. And then there's the flick that you flick and then come back. So flick, come back, kind of like that. Kind of like that. So you flick and then come back. And you're doing all this, you're micro correcting and then coming back to the center of your screen. That flick is really hard to do, and I really don't like that flick because it's not consistent. But the flick that you flick and then recorrect on and then get the kill, hopefully, right? And that's pretty much all it comes down to when it comes to flicking. Another thing is, I want to say, don't think that you have to flick onto certain targets. Don't think like, okay, there's a target here, I gotta flick to this target. Don't think like that. It should automatically be, I need to kill this person, or I need to kill the biggest threat to me, and then flick on to the next person so that I can kill him as fast as I can, right? It should never be like, oh, I'm gonna flick here, then I'm gonna flick here, then I'm gonna flick it. No, it shouldn't be like that. It should be all reaction based, right? And I'm gonna be honest, I haven't played Call of Duty in like 5 days, and my aim is still pretty good. Like, when it comes to flicking and stuff like that, even in a live match, like, I'm able to destroy. And that's just, you know, being used to my sensitivity, being used to that mouse control. So when it comes to flicking, again, what do we need to do? We need to acquire the target that's right in front of us. We need to see the target, acquire him, react, flick over, and then micro readjust. Flick over, micro readjust, and it's all in one smooth motion. Like right there, I overflicked, I had to come back, right? And you're going to overflick, you're going to underflick. Flicking in games like Call of Duty or and like fast FPS, like first person shooters, I'm not talking about like Counter-Strike or Valorant. I'm talking about in first person shooters like Apex, Warzone, Call of Duty. That flick is not linear, right? It's never going to be that same distance or the same way that you flick. Sometimes you have to flick to your left, sometimes you have to flick to your right, sometimes you have to flick up, sometimes you have to flick down. It's just one of those situations where it's dynamic, it's always changing, it's not linear, and you have to adapt and get used to it, right? Another thing is, if you want to kill somebody, guys, if you want to be like really good at Call of Duty, if you want to be like some of the best, you need to start aiming for the head as a mouse and keyboard player. I know it's a smaller target, but the more that you do it, the more you'll get used to it and the better you will be at it. And that is just one of those things that it's just, you're going to kill so much faster if you aim for upper chest / the headshots. Go for those headshots, right? Because it's just going to teach you to kill people a lot faster. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Again, key takeaways: don't try to consciously flick. Try to play the game and try to think, okay, get used to your sensitivity, get used to aiming down sight, get used to hitting people in the middle of your screen, right? Don't think about, I need to do this 180 flick, right? Don't think like that. Your flick should be, the best flicks in my personal opinion are flicks that happen right in front on multiple targets. Flicks that happen to people that are, there's like 3 people here, people that are able to flick, 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 and kill the targets in front of them. I find that more impressive than like a flick and then a 180 flick, because again, that just means that that was almost luck, like there's skill involved, but it's not as consistent, right? Like, we're all about being practical on this channel, real scenarios, and you know, real things that are going to actually happen in game, something that's not like the one-off, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comment section below if you learned anything and what do you want to see next. I was going to do a war or a road to you know, a ranked mouse and keyboard video, but I tried recording it, man, and I got into like every person I play in ranked, there's like a hacker, and it just doesn't seem fair because again, the video's done, but this is just me rambling right now. There are so many hackers in ranked, and especially I'm like bronze, dude, and I'm going up against like plats and diamonds, right? So like there's skill-based matchmaking in ranked, which there should be, but I should be going up against other bronze players to get out of bronze, right? I shouldn't be just going up against people that are like diamond ranked, right? Or iridescent. It just seems stupid. Or it seems, but they're clearly hacking. They're clearly not legit, right? I think about doing a ranked play through on my console just because like so many hackers on PC and ranked game modes. But yeah, guys, that's how you flick. That's like the beginning of the flick and like how you get better. And it's just up to you to put the time in. As always, remember, stay blessed and stay humble. And I'll catch you in another video. Peace.